Hey, 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 hey. I live again one request another video. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topic or tier list or reviews, whatever, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. This is for War Party, which some say was 1988, some say was 1989. Just pick your year, your choice. Pretty much the movie stars Billy Wirth, who was one of the vampires in Lost Boys, and his buddy's played by Kevin Dillon, who I remember from the 1988 remake The Blob, which is one of my personal favorites. Pretty much they play, yes, two Native Americans, and it takes place in Montana. One of their dads works with the tribal council, and they work with the mayor. And one that leads to another, there's going to be this big reenactment of the cavalry and the Native Americans reenacting this bloody battle. Which I know some say is such a ridiculous notion, but there have been reenactments of other battles as well. Maybe it wasn't that normal at the time, but I've seen other places do that. But sadly, tragedy strikes because the night or two before, a guy, a redneck asshole, he loses at pool, rightfully so, but he wants to take down this guy, and money is owed. Native American defends himself, even gets to the point of cutting the redneck asshole in the face. Little slice there. So when the reenactment happens, this guy, who's playing one of the cavalry, he has a gun loaded with real bullets. And he shoots it, and it kills the guy, shoots him in the face. Well, Billy Wirth sees this, and one of his friends has been murdered in front of him, so he's like, fuck you, goes up and caves his head in with the damn machete. I mean, tomahawk, I should say. Machete, it'd be Jason Voorhees, but tomahawk. One thing leads to another. Him and Kevin Dillon, others are on the run. A lynch mob is created. It pretty much is this back and forth where racial tensions are rising. The Native American tribal council are getting angry at the other people. The mayor trying to calm things down. The cops are getting more heated. One of the cops is actually Jerry Hardin, who I remember from, he played the character Deep Throat in the first season of the X-Files. He was also in the Rutger Hauer film Wanted Dead or Alive. He was the guy at the beginning of Big Trouble in Little China, talking to Victor Wan in the very first scene about green flames. And Victor Wan's like, you leave Jack Burton alone. The guy Victor Wan's talking to is Jerry Hardin. So he's in this. Yes, some actions happen. Some redneck assholes try to shoot them in a plane, but they shoot a bow and arrow, hits a guy in the neck, plane crashes. At another point, they get Emma Walsh, he was the sheriff in Critters. He was the guy helping out Chuck Norris in the first Missing Action. He was the American helping Dolph Lundgren out in Red Scorpion. He leads this party to hunt them down. Ultimately, the National Guard gets involved. Really, this becomes kind of a take on First Blood, where an event happens, these people who are not as guilty as they seem are hunted down while they have to defend themselves, and some deaths are involved. In First Blood's case, one death when he threw the rock because the guy was trying to shoot him in the helicopter. But there you go, you'll involve an incident with a helicopter, the result in deaths, both involve the National Guard get involved. Both people looked at other people differently and thought, I'm better than you mentality. But in this case, more of this racial tension rising up. Before I go on, I will say I don't think the acting by Billy Wirth and Kevin Dillon are bad. I don't know if I buy them as Native Americans. I believe Billy Worth. I think there's a tiny, tiny part of him is Native American, I guess. Kevin Dillon, I'm like, this is a guy from New York or the Bronx. I don't really think it was Native American, but okay. But whatever. I mean, I love Scarface, and Al Pacino plays a Cuban. So, who am I to talk? From Cuba. Tony Montana. The actors do their jobs well. Kevin Dillon's having fun. There's a bit where they have to get some supplies and they tie a guy up, but Kevin Dillon's being very nice to the guy. Hey, was I tied too tightly? No. Cool. You doing really well. Oh, thanks. Hey, say hi to your sis for me. Like, he's being very friendly to the guy that he's tying up and have to gag with a cloth. The music, not too shabby. It sticks with its serious theme. It doesn't go too wanty or too cluttered. It's just one of those things where, in a weird way, it doesn't know what it wants to be. What I mean by that is, if you want to be about the races versus the guys, and these guys are trying to survive and get their comeuppance onto the people that did them wrong, okay. But then it also wants to be this broader deal about racism and about how racism exists today. Because the first scene in the movie is it's a scene that takes place back to the day with the cavalry killing a lot of Native Americans, tearing the bodies. They take a tomahawk. They give this guy as a reward, hey, have it up for the camera. And then before the reenactment, Billy Worth, that same tomahawk is in a museum, and he said like belonged to his great-great-grandfather or something, so he steals the tomahawk. But if it's supposed to be about these bigger risings of racial tension, a lot of the other broader stuff doesn't go anywhere. And what I mean by that is the stuff in the background. There's a point where the council blows up the mayor's mansion. Nothing really comes of that. Nothing really changes because of that. I mean, hell, you could have taken that scene out and nothing would have changed plot-wise. There's this bit with the reporter that seems to be looking into it, where she's even looking into the person who passed away and the morgue. And there's even a bit where reporters come out and says, yeah, this guy was killed. The victim who was hit in the head, he had a gun loaded with ammo and he fired all the shots. As if the words getting out there like, hey, there's something more that meets the eye with this. Or, I believe the parents, one of them says, I tried to understand the white man, and I never learned a goddamn thing. And I don't think we ever see those parents ever again, so nothing really ever comes of that plot point. Nothing really ever comes of that. The dad, anything of the sort. They just kind of disappear from the movie. And then on top of that, there's another bit where some of the Native Americans are talking to some of the people, and they say the line, well, if anything happens to those boys, there's going to be a lot of trouble. I'm like, and by the end, I'm like, oh yeah? What kind of trouble? Because it doesn't seem like there is any trouble. Just pretty much is them kind of going around the woods. It's not as exciting or as thrilling compared to First Blood, I would say. There's a point where they get the drop on Emma Walsh, but then Billy Worth's like, you know what, I'm not going to kill you, I'll be nice now, and then kicks him in the nuts. But then one of their own gets shot. At one point, Emma Walsh's buddy goes up and tries to check on it, but then the guy's alive to give one more shot and shoot the guy in the eye. Decent effect. And then by this point, the National Guard are come in. And then you get to this finale where, spoiler alert, this guy who's been this drunk medicine man for the longest time, again, a flat out drunk. Now we're supposed to take this motherfucker seriously, and he's like, the white man, they lied to you. It's better to die in battle than grow old. You will get 20 years, you will get 10 years, blah blah blah. While the people over there is saying that you'll get like a pardon or probation, you'll get probation. But it becomes this sort of one-sided thing where what all the white people are bad and all the Native American people are good. Like this kind of black and white, no gray area. Like, what? How about have some white people like defend and go, wait a minute, there's something wrong going on here. And to be fair, like the other side, MMA Walsh does, his buddy that gets shot is another Native American, I believe. But I don't remember if they even really went into why he's so gun-ho to help MMA Walsh. Even though he himself is Native American. I believe he was. I don't remember if they really went into detail as to why he didn't really care. It just felt like it didn't have... It tried to be a deeper movie than what it really accomplished being. And pretty much the final bit is the two leads dress up in Native American war gear. One has their tomahawk, one has the rifle. They take their horses, both of them, right to the National Guard, and the National Guard shoots them. They die, they pick up the tomahawk, just like the tomahawk was picked up at the beginning of the film. Freeze frame, end credits. So you get a depressing downer ending that kind of makes you go, what was the point of it other than racism? Okay. But are we also then supposed to taking the point that, so wait, this ending was inevitable? There's no other way to change this ending, as in there's no way for these two individuals to outwit or outthink their opponents. There's no way for them to get in touch with people, use the justice system, use people that are crying out foul and crying out BS, that maybe they get support from people. Maybe more and more people, both white and Native American, realize there's some bullshit going on. Maybe you'll fight the system, whatever the case may be. Or even a point of, you think they're going to charge, and then they stop, and they walk up, and they give the tomahawk. Like, hey, yeah, I'm a Native American. But you know what? It's whatever year this takes place in. I've changed. But the question is, have you changed? Like that kind of debate, that kind of question of, listen, I know what century we're in. I know things are not perfect, but some things have changed. And yeah, I don't know, either to show that you're the better man, show that you're the better person, show that you can again outthink, outwit, do all this stuff. It just seems more like a disservice to, you know what? Nope, they had no other choice. Their only choice is to go back and dress up like their granddads did hundreds of years ago. And there's no other way to beat this. There's no other way to get over this. I don't know. It just seems like a shitty deal. Shitty side of business. And it's definitely not satisfying to the viewer. It's not satisfying to the audience. Maybe it makes you sad. Okay. And then the other bit is, for I understand, there was another ending where the two escaped to Canada, but the two stars said no. What was the phrase? That ending would not fit this picture. It wouldn't make sense for this picture. It wouldn't. I'm like, what are you talking about? You mean to add to it some common sense and be like, you know what? What is this really going to? And also, it doesn't show what this does, what their death does. That guy that said if anything happens to those boys, there would be a lot of trouble. Did that occur? Did that not occur? Oh, these people blew up the mayor's mansion. Now what? Now what? That's the thing. Because of where it stops, there's no showcase of what happened afterward. What occurred afterward. What was the good and the bad, the ugly that occurred because of this event. What was the point of the whole reporters? That whole story went nowhere. The reporters are there, and then one of them's like putting the camera down. Oh, you know what? Maybe build up some of the National Guardsmen. And then also then realize, you know what? They want us to kill, but we won't wound them. Just again, and to make a realization, yeah, racism exists, but at the same time, this ain't the Civil War. This ain't the war, Native American War. It's like any of those wars back to the day. There's some bad shit going on today, but there's also been some progress, and maybe that some people. But I guess that's the whole notion. The more things change, the more they stay the same. That's really the that was their gist at the end of the day. The more things change, which they showcase it at the beginning of the film when it's the old back to the day. The camera has the horses run out, and the camera pans, sticks with them, and literally it goes into modern day with the cars. So that seems to me like the director's literally saying, yeah, more things change. Horses to cars, back to the day to present day. Yeah, more things change technologically, but more things stay the same, and that's the white versus the Native American, all that jazz. But at the same time, I don't really think it reached a lot of deep levels of dialogue, drama, actual conversations about it. And it's really not that exciting of an action film, other than I guess the bit where guy shoots the bow and arrow and then does and there's an arrow sticking out of him, or a little bit of shootout scuffle here and there. Say a War Party. It's a downer, depressing movie. It's a movie where, like I said, it wants to have these deep themes and thoughts about it, but there's a lot of things that were not really handled with its supposed potential. And I just think kind of insulting that, yep, this is the only way they could end it. Again, like these two characters are living in the 20th century. You're telling me, again, they can't outthink, outwit, go to Canada and then try to figure things out, work with the reporters, work with your own parents, work with the tribal council, so whatever the case may be. No. Again, all these like little threads that seems to be leading to somewhere, and it doesn't lead to anywhere. Anyway, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you later. Bye bye.